Hi everyone. So I'm going to talk about Chapter 1, Transitions from the Common Rational Knowledge of Mortality to the Philosophical. This chapter is broken into six main parts to it. So I'm going to kind of go through them as each of the individual parts. So the first part that we read about is the goodwill, where it goes into discussing what is good and what can be considered good, such as like intelligence, wit, judgment. And then also it goes into talking about how what may be good can also end up being bad. Um, and it phrases the question to me of is the intention what is the intention of goodwill and what value does it hold? And this also goes on to say a goodwill is by virtue of volition, meaning it's good in itself. So that's actually something that I kind of agree with. Would hope that if you're doing something good, it's good in itself. Um, but I can see from the other side, like, not everything by itself can be good alone. The second point that I read about is the role of reason. And I kind of gathered from this that reason can be maybe is misunderstood. It can be instinct and it gives you common reasons to ideas. Um, and I also learned that reason applies itself with deliberate purpose to enjoyment of life and happiness. And it's also important that I read that reason does have influence on your goodwill. And I've also realized or learned that reason recognizes the establishment of a goodwill at its highest practical destination. But some people can be disappointed by reason if that's what they rely on alone. And also, another topic that was brought up was mythology, so the hatred of reason. And I can see why some people might hate reason, but I also see it as they need to know what reason is. Okay, so the next main category or the main topic of discussion was acting from duty. So, what I gathered from this is that duty does include goodwill, but there are certain restrictions based on subjects to that. And then when you're doing something, are you doing it because of duty or are you doing it for a selfish reason to better yourself in a sense? Um, and I also gathered from it that duty is derived from moral worth. The next section that is talked about is respect for law. Um, so having the moral concept of law itself, and it allows it to be rational. Um, from respective law, I didn't gain a lot of extra like insight. I found it to be a bit confusing, which I'm hoping it'll get clarified as we go on. The next topic that was talked about was the categorical imperative, which I know we've heard a little bit about before. Um, and from what I gathered, there's could be false promises that are made, and is it okay to do that if you know what's going on in the sense? So kind of going back to knowing like the subject of what's happening. And then the final section is the practical reason and philosophy. And to me, this was like the most intriguing, I guess you could say. Um, it talks about how we always end up going back to that moral reasoning and how some believe that we shouldn't need science and philosophy in order to make that reason, but or in order to reason, but we always manage to go back to it. So that's what I've learned through this reading, and I can't wait to hear what you guys have learned. Bye.